California has absolutely no idea what is about to hit it, because the Filipino community is mobilizing in numbers this tournament has never seen before, and the arrival of Alex Eala at Indian Wells is not just a sporting event, but a seismic cultural shift that is catching the entire tennis world off guard. Tickets are selling out at a record pace. Entire sections are being booked in massive groups by fan clubs stretching from San Diego to Daly City. And the tournament directors are reportedly stunned by the sheer scale of the demographic surge they are witnessing in real time. The legendary BNP Paribas Open, often referred to as the fifth Grand Slam, is about to be transformed into something completely different, a home court environment for a player who technically lives and trains thousands of miles away. Do you think Alex Eala will reach the semifinals at Indian Wells this year? And do you believe the Filipino crowd in California will be the loudest, most passionate fan base the tournament has ever encountered in its long history? Drop your prediction in the comments right now, because we need to talk about what is actually happening in the California desert right now, as the scale of this mobilization deserves to be understood properly and not just summarized in a brief social media update. Alex Eala is entering the main draw of the BNP Paribas Open not through the grueling qualifying rounds and not through the grace of a wild card, but through the sheer merit of her ranking as world number 31. This is a ranking she earned the hard way, climbing from world number 137 to 31 in a mere 12 months through a series of results that forced the global tennis elite to stop and pay attention. We are talking about the Miami Open semifinals, the Dubai quarterfinals where she stunned the world by defeating Jasmine Paolini, the world number 8, with a clinical 6-1, 7-6 scoreline, the Auckland semifinals, the Abu Dhabi quarterfinals, a gold medal at the Southeast Asian Games, and a historic Australian Open main draw debut. She has earned her spot at the top table through blood, sweat, and relentless consistency, and the tournament organizers have been watching the ticket sales and hospitality bookings with growing disbelief since her entry was officially confirmed. California is home to the largest Filipino diaspora in the United States, a community that is massive, highly organized, and deeply passionate about sports, and they have been waiting for a moment exactly like this one for generations. They are finally seeing a player who represents the Philippines competing at the absolute highest levels of international tennis right in their own backyard, and the response is nothing short of a frenzy. Alex is not just competing. She is winning, she is breaking records, and she is being described by former top 10 professionals as the biggest commercial draw in the sport today. Her portrait now hangs at the Nike World headquarters in Oregon with a caption that reads, "History in full bloom," a testament to her global impact. This unique combination of sporting excellence and cultural significance has triggered a response from the Filipino community in California that the Indian Wells Tennis Garden has simply never encountered since its inception. Fan clubs are organizing caravan trips from Los Angeles, San Francisco, and beyond, reserving entire blocks of seats to create a literal wall of sound that aims to replicate the electric atmosphere of Dubai, where even a superstar like Coco Gauff had to acknowledge the overwhelming energy of the Filipino fans after her quarterfinal victory over Eala. The secondary market for tickets for the sessions where Eala is expected to play has already seen prices skyrocket significantly above face value, with some seats reportedly going for double or triple their original cost as the Eala Effect takes hold of American soil. This is a new economic reality for the tournament's commercial side, which was completely unprepared for a player ranked outside the top 20 to generate this level of market demand. To put this in context, Indian Wells is the most prestigious tournament outside of the four majors, with a prize pool for 2026 exceeding $9 million and a field that includes every titan of the women's game, from world number 1 Aryna Sabalenka to defending champion Iga Swiatek, as well as rising stars like Mira Andreeva, Jessica Pegula, and Coco Gauff. These are players who have spent years building the reputations and results that typically command premium ticket prices, yet right there in the middle of the elite entry list is Alex Eala, who is generating more direct ticket interest from a single demographic than almost any other established name on paper. This is a complete inversion of the normal commercial logic of professional tennis, and it is happening in real time as the tournament approaches. Before even touching down in California, Eala's journey to this moment went through Beaverton, Oregon, where her visit to Nike World headquarters set the tone for the entire campaign. Her portraits were displayed in the legendary Nike Tunnel alongside the greatest athletes the brand has ever represented, including a poignant image showing her raw emotion after reaching the Miami semifinals with her hands over her face and tears in her eyes. The choice of the caption "History in Full Bloom" was no accident. Nike understands that they are not just investing in an athlete's forehand or serve, but in a global cultural movement. The inclusion of a photo showing Eala taking a selfie with her fans at the headquarters proves that the brand recognizes the community is the engine behind her success. The timing of this Oregon visit was highly strategic, as Eala arrived in the United States early to acclimate to the specific challenges of the California desert. The conditions at Indian Wells are notoriously difficult. The air is thin and dry, the altitude affects the ball's flight significantly, and the courts play much differently than the surfaces she encountered in the Middle East or Oceania earlier in the year. By getting to the States before most of her European rivals were even finished packing, Eala has given herself the best possible chance to master the environment. This level of meticulous preparation is the hallmark of the Rafa Nadal Academy, where she has spent 7 years refining her work ethic and mental toughness. She is not a player who relies on luck. She relies on a foundation of professional planning, and entering Indian Wells as a top 31 player gives her a massive physical advantage. Unlike last year in Miami, where she had to fight through the qualifying rounds and arrived at the main draw with accumulated fatigue, she arrives in California fresh, rested, and psychologically fueled by her experiences at Nike. Seeing herself on the same walls as sporting legends has provided a level of confidence that no amount of practice sets can replicate. While the opposition is formidable, with Sabalenka and Swiatek operating at the peak of their powers, the conversation surrounding Eala at Indian Wells is about more than just a single match result. It is about the momentum of a player who carries the hopes of millions and the tactical advantage of playing in front of a crowd that treats her like a rock star. Any player who faces her will have to contend with a level of noise and support that is usually reserved for a stadium final, creating a high-pressure environment for her opponents from the very first round. The insights from former players like Sam Querrey and Steve Johnson, who noted that Eala's drawing power is currently unmatched, are being proven right with every ticket sold. The tournament organizers are not just dealing with a spike in interest. They are witnessing a structural change in the tennis audience. Alex Eala has managed to attract a diverse, vibrant demographic to the sport without the need for a traditional marketing campaign, simply by being an exceptional representative of her heritage. As the tournament opens on March 4th, the countdown is finally over. The sections are reserved, the fans are ready, and Eala is prepared to step onto those iconic purple courts with a wall of blue, red, and white behind her. She will hear her name chanted with a ferocity that most players in the top 50 will never experience, and she will transform the California desert into a bastion of Filipino pride. Kim Clijsters once remarked that Eala deals with the fame of Michael Jordan in her home country, and now California is about to witness that same legendary energy firsthand. The 5th Grand Slam is about to experience its most electric atmosphere in decades, and every player in the draw will soon realize what Coco Gauff learned in Dubai. Playing against Alex Eala is a challenge, but playing against Alex Eala and the entire Filipino community simultaneously is a force of nature that no one is truly prepared for. As the sun rises over the Indian Wells tennis garden, all eyes will be on the girl from the Philippines who didn't just break into the elite ranks of tennis, but brought an entire nation along with her to conquer the desert. Alex Eala is heading to Indian Wells with her highest ever ranking, the full weight of Nike's global brand behind her, and an unstoppable community ready to turn a tennis tournament into a historic celebration of identity, excellence, and the relentless pursuit of greatness. This is the moment the world has been waiting for, the moment where history in full bloom becomes a reality on the world's biggest stage, and the tennis world will never be the same again after the Filipino community makes its mark on California this year. Get ready, because the Eala era has officially arrived on American soil, and the energy is going to be absolutely legendary.